Hello everyone, this is Hakaym and welcome to a replay sent in to me by a good friend of mine, Taichunger, and the tier 10 USN heavy cruiser, the Moines. And from what I was told, this replay is going to be good. Especially going to be a great comeback for this team. As you can see, pretty much heavy on the tier 10s. Taichunger is joined up with a few of his division mates. Comrade in the Leon, or the Lion, actually technically it's a Lion, and Ares in the Conqueror. So I haven't watched this replay. This is going to be kind of new to me, so we'll see how things go. Now if you are interested in seeing your replays on this channel, and if it's a really good replay, please send it to either my Gmail here, or you can join my Discord here, and all the links will be in the description box below. But go ahead, send me the replay, send me the information as far as what has happened in the battle and what I should be looking for, and by all means feel free. Because at the moment there's not much we're going to be working on as far as the main channel, the main focus, working up a line until the new split branch IGN Japanese destroyers come out. Another thing I should probably point out is this replay is the previous replay before they release the new one, which is out today when I'm recording this. So if you don't see any of the new features, it's pretty much going to be because it's an older replay. So, Tier 10 Des Moines. Fantastic ship. It is a ship that is fantastic as far as holding down, has very exceptional radar, has very auto-reloading, fast guns, which is really what it's great for, and also its armor piercing is the super heavy armor piercing, which does mean even at steeper angles it still is able to penetrate. So very fantastic guns. There are obvious weaknesses to this ship. So as we can see, our Tai's team is starting to cap the B and the C cap. Looks like C is going to be switched over. However, it does look like there is a enemy destroyer in the B cap. And that is probably, it's probably any of those. Obviously the enemy team is going A and B, and probably at this point the friendly team should start pushing towards B. Now we have a few ships that went up towards A. One destroyer, can't really see what it is, but currently facing off against the enemy destroyer. And you can see there Tai was actually spotted when he fired, which obviously means that there is a destroyer in B, but as we just saw there were torpedoes in fact coming towards the western side of C. So yes, destroyers are all around. Shots were shot at the enemy Conqueror, but is at the very extreme of the range, so unfortunately no hits were actually landed. And it looks like maybe it would be a good time to actually start pushing. Like I said, this would be a good time for the friendly team to actually start pushing towards the B cap, because C is fairly secured. Of course there is an enemy destroyer looking around somewhere. But at the moment, the friendly team has just lost their tier 8 Lo Yang, which is a decent DD. Does have Hydro, and is very fantastic against other tier 8s with that Hydro. But since they've already lost one destroyer, it can start to spell disaster. Not saying it's instantly going to change. Destroyers always offer very crucial information, offers spotting, offers torpedoes, offers smokes, etc. So losing your destroyers very early in the game is quite devastating. And as we can see, those are probably going to be, I'm assuming, a gearing torpedo. That's at least 2 sets of 5. It could also be the enemy Shimikaze, but we don't quite know at the moment. But it does look like Tai is taking up a very good positioning, getting a solid cover to his side and offering the assistance. And it looks like the friendly Cleveland may have possibly pop hydro radar, but it could also be in fact the enemy friendly Shimakaze spotting that enemy kid. Does look like radar is officially popped, maybe because the kid is spotted. Shots are on towards the enemy kid, but he does kind of slip away. I'm actually kind of curious why no radar was actually popped there. But honestly, that kid probably would have escaped, and that radar would have been not much use to the friendly team, just because it is going to be on cooldown. So at the moment, Tai is in a very good positioning. Like I said, Des Moines is a really fantastic ship that can just hunker down and just hold down a position. Now, it does look like the friendly Conqueror does take out the enemy Yamato, which is quite devastating to the enemy team. Losing a tier 10 battleship, especially Yamato with those very large caliber guns, can be quite a downside for them. But we'll see how things progress. Now, it looks like the enemy team did officially capture B, and that's probably been some time. And it looks like the friendly Shimakaze is at least spotting the enemy kid, as well as preventing any further point gains. And the enemy kid is spotted, did open up, so Shimakaze could in fact go invisible if he needed to. But it looks like the friendly Shimakaze is using those guns, which is really good, because Japanese destroyers really need to learn that their guns can be used. Do use your guns, don't just rely on your torpedoes. But it does look like the enemy kid is pushed out of the cap, and that has allowed the friendly team to start capturing B. But I think the Shimakaze is actually going to be stepping out of cap, which does mean the enemy team is going to continue gaining points from the B cap. And there, the friendly team has just lost the Rochelle, so not a good situation. Looks like the Rochelle was in fact behind Tai in the Des Moines. Now, Missouri is being focused down. Looks like we do have the friendly Lion opening up on the Missouri. Conqueror is coming around, probably trying to get in a better position. And at the moment, this is pretty much normal Des Moines gameplay. But as you can see, the enemy team is starting to push around the east side, and that can spell detrimental, or can mean detrimental effects towards Tai, because if they can get him on his broadside, the Des Moines has exceptionally weak armor, which obviously will mean some citadels incoming. Now, he is spotted, and it looks like the Bismarck is starting to push in, as well as the enemy Shimakaze, which is more than likely dropping torpedoes. Tai does switch targets to the enemy Shimakaze, and is starting to try to get some solid cover between himself and the enemy team to the northwest. However, once again, the enemy team is pushing down from the northeast as well. Now, the enemy team is doing a really good job starting to push back in and trying to offer assistance, but they are in somewhat of a crossfire. Only somewhat, and looks like there was in fact the friendly Shimakaze dropping smoke, which is extremely beneficial for Tai, because he's able to fire without any penalty, and does get a fire on the Conqueror. Now, the Conqueror, well, fires don't really mean that much to it if it is able to get away. And holy, that Shimakaze does go down to the Massachusetts secondaries. That's definitely one ship I would love to try out sometime. But this Conqueror is pushing in, somewhat questionable, because now he's showing a lot of broadside to the friendly Lion. But we do lose our Cleveland to the enemy Bismarck, but the enemy team does lose their Missouri. So at the moment is fairly close. but just in a matter of moments, the friendly team has just lost their Benson and their Massachusetts to the Kidd and the Goering respectively, and things aren't looking very good because the Kronstadt just died to the Shimikaze's torpedoes that he did manage to eat. So the enemy team is ahead of ships. They are ahead 9-6, so a 2-3 ratio there. So things can still, well, at this point is going to be a little bit more difficult for the friendly team to actually claw back, but fortunately that they do still have a couple of destroyers, and they still have their tier 10 Conqueror as well as their tier 9 Lion. Now, however, the Des Moines bow plating is definitely not as good as the Moskva, and does eat a pretty substantial amount of damage there. It does look like Tai did switch over to AP to at least get some penetration damage. That's one thing to keep in mind, is the Des Moines can actually do substantial amount of damage to any broadside battleship that is foolish enough to constantly show you a lot of broadside, because the guns reload so quickly and they are super heavy armor piercing shells. Now, the friendly team was able to at least kind of bring it back. The Yamato did take out the enemy Bismarck, so there is a slight less gap between the two. And it looks like this North Carolina has realized he's kind of pushed in a little bit strongly, and it looks like he's starting the normal standard of reversing. And enemy Kidd is spotted, and it looks like he is spotted by the friendly Shimikaze and comes in front of Tai's guns and hopefully should knock this Kidd out. It does look like the friendly Conqueror is starting to push around the corner. Should hopefully deal a substantial amount of damage. I'm actually kind of curious whether or not this friendly Conqueror is in fact firing AP. He really should be against some of these targets. Conqueror AP is actually pretty good. Not saying that the HE's any worse, but let's see. Oh no. There, we've just lost a friendly Conqueror to the enemy Conqueror, but at the exact same time, the Shimikaze, it does manage to take out the enemy Buffalo, and things are still swinging back and forth between the friendly and the enemy team. However, the enemy team is doing a really good job maintaining the B cap and maintaining the point advantage. Torpedoes inbound on that North Carolina. Does look like he eats one on the bow and is going to go down to Tai here. Let's see. Yes, Tai does get the kill on that North Carolina. Point swing once again very close between the enemy team. Friendly Shimikaze does start to capture B, and at the moment we do have a half health Yamato, about a quarter health Lion, and about half health Shimikaze, and things could definitely easily switch back towards the enemy team. Now, I'm actually very curious why Tai doesn't pop his radar right now. He was spotted, could have been from actually that Des Moines, from that corner there. Looks like Tai does try to get some shots on the enemy Des Moines, does actually damage its front turrets. Can he do a little bit more substantial amount of damage? Now, AP probably at this angle isn't the greatest. I mean, the only real major benefit is actually knocking out those guns. However, getting those fires, doing that fire damage, and penetrating with the HE is extremely beneficial. There we go. Tai finally has popped his first radar of the game, does spot the enemy Kidd, but keep in mind there's still two other destroyers around, and they are, I think, the Goering and the Kagero. We still have no idea where they are at the moment, and things are still in a precarious position. Now, there's in fact another destroyer, and I've just realized where he is. He's all the way up at the A cap, all the way up there. Don't actually know who it is, but it does look like this enemy Des Moines might go down, getting focused down. Now this Des Moines probably could have switched to AP, especially with how much broadside Tai is showing, but instead he does stick with HE and just doesn't get that substantial amount of damage, but is going to go down. Now we did see the gearing up on the northern side, but there we have just lost our Yamato to the enemy Cleveland, and things are still very close. The enemy team has one additional ship to Tai's team at the moment, and it does look like we might actually capture B. I'm actually very curious what destroyer that is. It's another Shimakaze, and it's facing off against a near half health gearing, and this is where I was told to watch out for. Keep in mind, gearings, it's more of a gunboat, it's well multi-purpose boat, but its guns are definitely faster firing than the enemy Shimikazes, and generally, for the most part, you would always assume that the gearing would always win out one-on-one against the enemy Shimikaze, especially considering Shimikaze had less health. However, the gearing, it appears, well, it seems to be losing this battle at the moment. Gearing does go down to the friendly Shimikaze. Friendly Shimikaze is alive with 810 health. Looks like those torpedoes are in fact dodged by the friendly Shimikaze. Now the friendly team has switched the caps. They owned all three caps for a little bit, and with that death of the enemy gearing has given the friendly team additional points. But it does look like Tai is currently being spotted by the enemy destroyer all the way behind, showing a lot of broadside, and this is one, there it is, Kagero all the way back there. Ooh, ouch. And this Kagero might go down. Tai is in a very vulnerable position, showing a lot of broadside to the enemy Conqueror. Should get the kill. Oh, that dispersion. Once again, not the best position for Tai. He has to turn away from the enemy Conqueror. It does look like the enemy Conqueror is actually using AP, which is very nice to see, but does look like Tai is able to dodge that. Now the friendly team is ahead in points. They have two caps. They are getting more points as long as the friendly team does not go down. Tai is once again opening up on that Cleveland, and this is quite a comeback, especially considering how many ships the friendly team was down 9-6 at that point in time, and they were able to bring it back, especially with considering they had two Shimikaze and the enemy team had a gearing, a Kid, and a Kagero. So very close game. Conqueror is getting focused down. Should hopefully be focused down here in a moment. Does look like the friendly Lion is pushing in as well. Now, unfortunately, Tai's not really able to assist here. He did get this island between himself and the Conqueror, but hopefully should be able to get turned around, especially once he's no longer detected. Friendly Shimikaze is very low in health and needs to be really careful, because if the enemy team does manage to take out the friendly Shimikaze as well as the friendly Lion, can spell disaster. And there we go, friendly Lion does go down. Conqueror is pushing in, is doing a really good job pushing in. This is definitely a move the friendly or enemy team needed to do. Unfortunately, we have just lost our friendly Shimikaze, who was extremely low in health. The enemy team has brought back points, but there they have just lost their Conqueror. Kagero, it was spotted for a moment, as well as the Kid, but there is about 30 seconds left on the clock, and I don't think the enemy team has enough time to actually bring this back. So very close battle witnessed by Tai. Thank you, Tai, for sending this in, and if you are interested in sending me your replays, do send them to my Gmail or post them on the Discord. Links are down in the description box below. But this is going to be it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you like what you saw, hit the like and subscribe button. You guys have a great and fantastic day. Sai Jen.